Hello everyone, welcome to the new video on the Stabber fleet issue. This is a tutorial video based around the ship. It's for an alpha clone. I did initially post this live stream of a video of a loot drop onto Reddit. It did receive a little bit of negative feedback, but I don't mind that. Any criticism, drop it into the comments, helps me improve the content for me as a content creator, and I enjoy it, and I like a bit of banter. So, the Stabber fleet issue, moving on. So we're going to have a little bit of a tutorial about this. I think for me, this ship doesn't work for everyone. I enjoy this ship. I think in EVE it's important to fly what you enjoy. You spend a lot of time in the game, and it's a good ship for an alpha clone to work towards. There's a little bit of skilling involved. This ship is a T2 variant. The main goal here, what I'm trying to get through, I've seen a few other people put these videos up, is really, what I like to do now is, run these high sec anomalies down to sort of 0.5, venture into low sec every now and again. And the loot drops are really, really good. They are good, and it's good fun at the same time, and you get a real good sense of achievement. So really what we'll do is we'll have a look at the ship, we'll look at the modules, we'll look at the skilling. I'll try and to split this off into sections. So what we'll do is we'll go through the modules, we'll have a look at it, and we'll show you the meta variants as well. This is a T2 fit, couple of T1 modules on there, which is a meta afterburner. I think we got a SIBO on there, and we'll just have a look, and let me know in the comments, and hit that subscribe button for me, always helps, and we'll get to it. So welcome to the station. We're going to have a look at the fitting on this Stabber fleet issue. So first of all, what we'll do is we will pop that there, and we'll just have a look at the skilling for and the bonuses for the Stabber fleet issue. So initially you can see for the Minmatar cruiser bonuses, you get your 7.5% bonus to the rate of fire and the 10% bonus to the tracking speed. Now for the sites that we're going to run in this video, it's important that you have a high tracking speed. Now for medium projectile turrets, to track a frigate is quite a tricky thing. Ideally you would want to run small projectile turrets on this for the things that we're doing. However, if you get an escalation into a 410, there's quite a lot of cruiser damage in there, or cruisers in there, and you want to be prepared for any eventuality. So if you fit your mediums with the bits and bobs that we're going to go through, it just means that you can run these things a little bit faster, and also speed when you're going for your risk per hour, etc. If people like to chase that, then all these little things add up to quite a big thing. So talking a little bit earlier, so if I turn these off, if that did that work, he says. So the Stabber fleet issue is basically more of an armor fit kind of ship. You can fit it as a shield fit, I have seen them, but mainly it's an armor ship. Now the armor hit point bonuses are geared towards EM and thermal. So EM, the blue lightning there, so armor EM damage resistance, armor thermal damage resistance. So for the players that don't understand that quite just yet, so you have 4 different types of damage. So you have explosive, kinetic, thermal and EM, like I just said. In Minmatar space you've got Sancha, is the main sort of NPC around in these sites, and they deal EM damage. So it's important that when you're looking at gearing your alpha clone, that for these kind of things that you're trying to do, you want to sort of go for your racial ship, so as in Minmatar, to run in Minmatar space because of the bonuses that you get. So for example, if you're a Caldari, you would fly something like a Moa, or Caracal, a Navy issue, that gives you the kinetic bonuses. So that has damage to kinetic, so you deal out kinetic damage and receive kinetic damage, if that makes sense. So that's for another video, but here we're focusing on EM resistances. So you can also spread your resistances across. Sancha deal with, I think it's EM and thermal. I have to double check that. So we just want to buff those up a little bit. So initially we'll start with the low slots. So what we'll do is, first things first, you go for a damage control. There's a conflicting argument on whether it's worth using a damage control. I always like to use a damage control, especially on an alpha clone. Now the reason being is that you get the bonuses to the hull damage resistance also. So as you can see, when you get into your hull damage, so you have your shield damage, where you're going to melt through your shields quite quickly because there's no much resistance to EM. So your armor is going to be a buffer, and then obviously, as you can see here, you've got omni resistances across your structure. Now, if you've got a damage control and something goes wrong, it gives you that little bit more time to get out. So that's your safety card really, and you also get good omni resistances across the armor. So that's that. Now there is a variations here, so you can go for the, I think that's a meta. So a meta modules. So this is a T2 damage control module, which gives you basically 15% across the board. The skilling requirements for that is obviously your hull upgrades 4 and mechanics 1. So initially what you want to do is you want to be doing your skill plan for your health or armor resistances and your tank effectively. Once you've got that out of the way, then you can look at doing your damage application after that. For me personally, as a character, it's no good having massive damage and a squishy ship. You're just going to lose things, and then that gets annoying sometimes. Quite like to die sometimes, but there we go, that's another story. So going back to the resistances then, so before we hit that, so obviously then you've got your maximum target range, so you get the picture there. So if you go into your fitting window on your side here on your com, so fitting or Alt F if you like to press that, you can, and you get all that information here. So as you can see here with the damage control, so there's the base resistances. You turn on damage control and instantly you get a 15% buff across the board. So EHP wise, so this is your actual hit points with the resistances and the amount of armor that you've got, so your HP. It gets quite confusing, so the pieces will start slotting together. So then obviously we want to keep buffing up that EM resistance. So what we do there is we fit an EM coating, which gives you 24% EM damage resistance bonus. Again, same skill requirements, hull upgrades and mechanics. So you can see here the chain. So basically if you get your hull upgrades to level 4 and your mechanics to level 1, you can see that you can do quite a lot with that already. So thermal coating, so we want to buff up that thermal, 24%. So same again to your T2, your Tech 2 variant. You can use officer or shiny versions, so you have your navy sets here which are more expensive, and then obviously you've got your officer bits and shiny bobs down here. These actually drop from the sites that we're doing, so you can actually save yourself money by using your drops if you don't want to sell them. That's up to you. And then again, an EM coating just to buff up that resistance to 80%. So after that, in the low slots, then what we'll do then is we'll do a medium armor repairer, just so that we're going to take a little bit of damage. We don't need to have it cycling on all the time. I'll show you that in one of the rooms. It's just to take away the damage, so we don't have to keep docking up and repairing, so it's for speed more than anything. For that, the skill requirements are so mechanics level 4 and repair systems level 4. Though what I'll do is I'll do a full skill plan in the description. I think that will probably help a lot of people, and I'll put that together. Finally, in the low slots, I fit a gyro stabilizer, so that needs weapon upgrades 4 and gunnery 2. And what that does, that basically gives you a rate of fire bonus, so that increases the damage that you're going to output of your medium guns. So we'll move on to the mediums. There's 2 variations of the mediums. So this current configuration here is for basically blitzing the sites, if you like. It'll give you enough cap to repair, but obviously if you're going to run your repairer, your SIBO, your tracking enhancer and your afterburner all at one go, you're going to burn through your cap in less than 3.5 minutes effectively. I'll try and run some other tutorials. If some of you guys don't understand any of this, then obviously I can go back and go over this in a bit more detail. We're just really talking about the Navy issue, the Stabber Fleet issue more than anything. So we'll knock these off. So as you can see here, if we're going to fly the ship as it is, you're going to burn through your cap, and your resistances are going to stay the same because you've now set up your tank on the low side, so we're not really worried about that. But what we'd just like a little bit more comfort, so we can run that repairer for a little bit longer. So basically what we'll do is we'll install a medium cap battery. Requirements for that: energy grid upgrades 3, science 1 and power grid management 2. You can do a meta variation. Skilling requirements are a lot lower, so you see you only need grid upgrades 1, science 1 and power grid management 2. You can actually get into a Tech 1 version or a sort of meta officer fit version, if you like, with the variation of the navy bits and bobs, which are more expensive. You can get into this ship for a lot less skill requirements and probably less than a week old character. The issue you're going to have is that you need your core skills to make it less squishy. I'm going to do an experiment on that and see how young of a character you can fly this. You're going to struggle in a 4 of 10 on a week old character. You need them buffer skills really, just to boost it. So yeah, so the Tech 2 train, it doesn't take long to get to these at all. And all these core skills stand you in good stead later on down the line. Anyway, so with that booster, you're now cap stable, so you can fly the ship, you can fly around, you can take damage, you can run your armor repairer, and you can fight. Granted, a little bit slow, so 287 meters per second, so you're going to be slow, but you can sit there and you can tank as much damage as you can take all day long with that. So that's the idea of cap stable. So this is where I tweak my little bit. So I like to run these sites fast, so I fit a tracking computer with a tracking speed script. The skills to get into that are going to take you a little bit longer. I would say it was a necessity if you want to speed through these. You can get into a T1 variation for a lot less, as you can see here. Quite low skill requirements. But for the Tech 2 versions, it's quite important because if you're going to shoot frigates with a medium-sized gun, you are not going to track it. I'd ran this earlier to see if I could run it without a tracking computer, and you probably get a 50-50 hit. With the tracking computer, you get a 100% hit 100% of the time, and for a Sancha frigate, it will melt it straight away. There is some ships out there. I fly it myself. You'll see the Jackdaw video, the Tech 3 versions, higher DPS destroyers. They do run this very, very efficiently. However, this ship, I have come up against the T3 destroyer, and for an alpha clone, it has cleared it faster than a destroyer. Whether that was luck or not, I don't know. But it did it. So afterburner, then we've got an afterburner. As you can see, then all of a sudden that starts depleting our cap. You need to run the afterburner in a 4 of 10 in orbit. If you do that and get up to speed, the damage that you're going to take is going to be a lot less. If you stop and lose speed, it's going to hurt. SIBO, these are my quirky bits. I like to run a SIBO because it gives you a scan resolution bonus and you can lock things faster. Guns at the top, so we've got 4 425mm autocannon 2s. This is fitted with EMP. You can fit, I run with EMP, Hail and Barrage. These are the Tech 2 variants. The EMP gives you a good face bash against the Sancha. Hail gives you kinetic and explosive damage. So if you were going to go to, say, let me see, probably Galante space, this would work quite well. The only problem with Galante space is your resistances. You would have to fine tune your lower resistances to match whoever you're going to fight up against. And then also you've got Barrage, which is if you're going to do a hideaway and the rats are far away. So, excuse me, a little bit of a cold there. So, with that, that is the fit that you will go out and you will do the sites with effectively. Once you get an escalation, you can run this in an escalation, however it's not efficient. So you're going to be up against lots of cruisers and you're going to take a lot of damage. So what I do is I swap out the SIBO and then I'll put another cap battery in, and then just like that you've got a stable fit. So that now means that you can go into a 410, you can go to the gate, you can orbit, and you can run your repairer as long as you need to. You can keep it on there, you can overheat. It just makes it run cap stable. If you find the sites that you're doing you can't keep up with the damage, maybe because of your core skills, you can run 2 repairers, but then you won't be cap stable. But it is possible to run 2 repairers. The most efficient repairers in the variants are the Dead Space ones. You can run 2 of those, but you won't be cap stable. So it's good to get your core skills done, and then up in your rigs, capacitor control circuit gives you that little bump on the cap. Nanobot accelerator, which gives you the repair cycle duration, it will speed that up, and then another capacitor control circuit one to help with the cap. So with all that information overload, we'll go out and give it a test. I'll talk you through the various bits and bobs of what we do when we go out, for those of you that don't know. Some of you guys and girls out there, you may know all this. It might just be a little bit of a refresher for you and something a little bit different. If there's anything that you want to add, or you want me to add, let me know in the comments, and I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm always open to something a little bit different. So we're going to run, while we're here, and we'll run a refuge site. So, and then I can show you these bits and prove to you why they're good to use. So the plan is, people do this differently. So if you open up your agency tab, Blood Raiders are what we're doing at the minute. Now, really, what you want to be doing is in this space is Sancha ones, but I dropped into this system, so it's quite handy. So what I do is I go anything that's below 0.7, and I'll add them as a waypoint if it's got an anomaly on. So you can right click, add as a waypoint on anything that's got an anomaly in the system. And I'll do a route that way. So that's my route. It looks quite a long one, but it'll work. So let's just get moving. So we orbit the structure, and go and sort of turn the afterburner on and get moving. So lock times. So we'll go on the worshipper, and we've got a massively long 7 seconds lock time, and that's too long. You'd be here all day doing that. So that's the reason for the SIBO, and you'll see why in a minute. So from a tracking point of view, it's probably going to make me look a little bit silly now and kill it straight away, but we'll fire that, and as you can see, it's just missing all the time. We are a little bit, we got a hit there, we are a little bit out of range to be fair, but it took 4 hits to kill. So here's the difference. So if we now activate the SIBO, so we've got a 50% resolution bonus, and we're going to activate the tracking computer, and we've now got a 30% tracking bonus. So we've got the scan res and the tracking. So we're going to lock, and it's going to lock a little bit faster, but 3 seconds, but we're going to lock everything. So by the time everything's targeted, 4 seconds. Now when we kill it straight away, he says when it misses, 1 shot, it's done. For Sancha, 1 shot, it's done. So you can see, as soon as things are appearing as well, get them locked. So you can see as soon as we're firing on these things, because of the tracking bonuses, we've got them melting pretty quickly. 1 shot, gone. 1 shot, hopefully gone. Or maybe 2 shots. Like I say, the damage will be a little bit different in this room, because it's Blood Raider. So we'll just quickly clear this site. I'll just skip forward to the end of the site, and then I'll see you in a mo. So as you can see there, the site was cleared pretty quickly. Usually can take less than a minute, so you can run these quite efficiently. Around every 1 in 25 or so, depending on the RNG, it will drop a 4 out of 10, and then you run the 4 out of 10, and then you can get loot of up to anywhere up to 250 million plus, on average. Yeah, so it's a good ISK earner. If you check out my Jackdaw video, you can see where I've dropped some loot. I'll also put in a 3 of 10 win from the last video on the next slide, and then you can see the drop there. See you in a mo. Okay, so we've landed into a Sancha site. This is a Sancha burrow, so it's probably not the best example, but there's not much around at the minute. So with this, what we'll do is, this is the reason why for the Tech 2. So if we load Barrage, you can see that you get the larger bonus for the range. Now you can clear this really quickly, so I appreciate there's a long lock time, but with the distance, as you can see, it's just a single pop for every single shot for the range. So you can actually sort of probably, the fall off is around 22 kilometers. So even at 35, you're going to get a big hit. And the reason for that is mainly your tracking computer. Looks like it's struggling a little bit at 30. He says, single shot man. So, you know, you see, you get the idea. You can clear these quite quickly, and if you can get through enough of them in one night, you'll get a decent amount of escalations. It is proven. There are people that I know that in a week they've earned enough money to be able to plex their accounts doing things this way. So it does work, and it's relatively fun as well. And if it takes a week, you know, that's not a lot of time for something. But I do a lot of this now anyway, because it's quite enjoyable. You get to fly around, you get to see different places. I actually run these sites in a Stratios now, and scan sites as I'm going down. So it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. I'm going to do another video on the Stratios, and with the Stratios, it's PvP Brawl of it as well. So that can be quite fun sometimes, but I won't ruin that. So anyway, I hope this has been a little bit better, a little bit of informative. I am quite new to this kind of content. I normally throw some music on and do it out there, but I think I'm going to go this way much more from now on. I want to help you guys out. Just remember, drop me a subscribe, hit that bell, and get notified when the next video goes up. So thanks guys for popping along, I really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it too. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye bye.